So I'd like to introduce our today's mentor for the Q&A session. So Rishu Raj Kapoor, sir. So we are honored to have you. So he is additional GM at Shapoorji Pallonji Corporate Limited as an expert for today. So he comes with 28 years of experience in the construction industry, has handled construction equipment in major infrastructure projects, including refineries, steel plants, power plants, highways, equipment operations, and predictive maintenance and industrial safety projects. So thank you, Rishu sir, for coming for today's session. And he'll be talking about majorly three problem statements. That is remote equipment monitoring and predictive maintenance dashboard for crane operations, then predictive maintenance and consumer replacement system for crane operations, and energy optimization and remote monitoring system for crane and material handling operations. We also will be discussing about a couple of other problems given by the technical issues given by the participants itself. So once, sir, you take through the interactive session, then we will take up the questions. Is that fine with you?
Thanks, Saurabh. Thank you. Yeah.
Uh, so I welcome you again and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Saurabh. So dear participants, like the Dynamic is organizing this hackathon, which is a very good platform for all of you to come out with your new ideas. And we are there available round the clock to support you. So to address any of your queries. So right now, like Saurabh was telling, that we will be discussing or we will be working out probably on 2-3 statements like the remote monitoring, the maintenance aspects of the equipment, construction equipment, and the optimization of the fuels. Okay, so the teams who are working on these particular three problems, so if they have any doubts, they can come out, and if they want to understand something, I'm open for that.
Okay. So we can go in this way, like you can, so you can explain the problem statement first and give some background about that, and then we can take up the questions. So we have
Okay.
almost 20 questions we have collected in our Google form. So we'll take
Fine, sir.
yeah. Once they get an idea of the problem statement, then it will be easy for them as well.
Fine. Saurabh, and dear participants, like what is happening basically in the construction industry when the different equipment are being used at the project sites, the people who are at the operation and at the project sites, they are more busy into execution of the project. So the maintenance part or monitoring part of the equipment is left behind somewhere because of the urgency of execution of the projects and other parameters. So what we want to all of you, the teams who will be working on this, to come out with the solutions to monitor these equipment on different parameters so that any major failures can be avoided. So timely messages or timely alerts can be triggered to the respective department or to the respective heads. If any problem is going to happen, suppose a temperature of the equipment increasing more than the allowable temperature, then a message should be triggered. For the oils, lubricants which are being used, if the temperature of the lubricants is getting triggered, then the message should be triggered. And then once the equipment is working, then based on the OEM, means original equipment manufacturer, there are some guidelines given by the manufacturer for the maintenance of the equipment. Like you are using a bike or you are using a car, there is a schedule which is given by the OEM who says that after 10,000 kilometer or after a year, the equipment should come to their workshop for the maintenance. Similarly, every construction equipment has a maintenance schedule which is proposed by the OEM and which has to be followed. So a system should be made where your system can monitor the usage of the equipment, how many hours it has been used, and then accordingly it can trigger a message that in the next say 50 hours or in the next 2 days or next in 3 days, the equipment is going to come for a 200-hour maintenance or a 50-hour maintenance or a 10-hour maintenance or a 1,000-hour maintenance. And a probable list of maintenance checklist should also be triggered to the respective department, where they can understand that what type of maintenance will be coming and what are the parameters that have to be checked during this particular maintenance. It means that all the OEM recommendations have to be incorporated into your software or into your system, which should be triggering to the maintenance team and alerting them that after say 2 days or 3 days or 50 hours, this particular maintenance will be coming for the equipment, and these are the checklists which have to be followed during the checklist. So this is about the maintenance of the equipment. And in remote monitoring, like in the cranes, if we are working with the cranes, if any of the crane is going beyond the safe limit of the working, see, cranes are basically working on the principle of the radius at which the load is being lifted and capacity of the crane at that particular given radius. Okay, and then the leveling of the particular equipment. Suppose it is a mobile hydraulic telescopic crane which is being positioned on a ground with the help of its outriggers. Suppose the outriggers have been positioned and the crane has been positioned, but the ground is not leveled or the machine is not leveled, then if the operator is trying to operate the crane, an alert should be triggered to the end user that the crane is being working in an unsafe zone or in a dangerous position. And similarly, while monitoring the crane, the radius at which the equipment is going to lift the load, at that particular radius, what is the load to be lifted, what is the safe load there should be, and if it is lifting the load, whether the load is being lifted, the value of that load has to be represented on your app or on your software. And if the overloading is being done, a message has to be triggered and the system has to be locked to go for lifting the overloading of the crane, to avoid the overloading of the crane. So this will be the remote monitoring of these particular equipment operations. A team who is sitting at the office, they can monitor if something is going wrong. They can just have a word with the end user or the operator of the equipment so that they can understand if something is going wrong. Okay. Similarly, like the optimization of the this fuel and other things, monitoring of the fuel, not with only the running of the engine, but whether the engine is running under load or it is running idle. See what happens. Suppose a equipment is there, uh, like I would say, like a crane is there. Okay, the crane generally works at a low RPM because under load working of a crane is a very limited criteria. So when the crane is working on the load, the fuel consumption of the crane will be different. And when it is working on a idle, means the engine is running on a low RPM of say 800 RPM or 1000 RPM, then the load fuel consumption will be different. Okay. So based on the HP of the engine of the equipment, suppose an excavator is there, whether the excavator is running only as a idle condition or for the excavation condition. So based on that, or whether it is running for the breaking of the rocks. So in all these three conditions, the fuel average will be different. So a software or an app has to be paired which can understand of out of the total running hours of the equipment. Suppose an excavator has run for 5 hours. Out of those 5 hours, what are the loaded hours and what are the idle hour running of that equipment? And based on that, what should be the average fuel consumption of that equipment and what is the actual fuel consumption of that equipment is coming. Similarly, probe sensors can be used in the tanks of the diesel where any sudden deviation in the diesel, suppose an operator is getting the diesel filled. So there should be a sudden change in the diesel which has to be recorded by your system, and a message should be triggered that this much change in the diesel is there. Similarly, if someone is stealing the diesel from the diesel tank, there will be a sudden drop in the diesel level in the tank of the system. A message has to be triggered to the end user that there is a theft or there is sudden drop in the diesel level of the system. So this type of remote monitoring and optimization of the fuel consumption of the equipment has to be there by the app or by the sensors which you will be using. Okay, so am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so participants, we have enabled your mics and camera so you can ask your questions or put it in chat box. Please
Hello.
do ask questions related to the problem statements.
Yeah.
Yes, we have someone. Atharva, yes. Atharva,
Yes.
ask
Am I
you.
audible?
Yeah, can you
Yeah,
be a bit
Yeah,
loud?
sir. So I had a doubt that what level of finishing you are expecting? Like if we could use some normal sensors or we need to use proper industry grade sensors to give a prototype.
you see, first you have to understand the requirement, that what is the requirement. So based on requirement, you have to select your sensors. See, if we are talking about the remote monitoring, so basically in remote monitoring, it is more work of the GPS system or the SIM card you will be using and the sensors which are already installed in the equipment. You have to take out the signals from the sensors which are already available in the equipment. Suppose you have to check out the running hours of the machine. So the already the running meter or the hour meter which is given or the kilometer which is given in the dashboard of that particular system, you have to tap out your connections from there, or the oil pressure switch is there, you have to tap out the oil pressure switch from the system of the equipment and then integrate it into your app or into your software.
Okay. And is there any particular type of crane we are targeting?
See, since you are working as a project, it is up to you that what type of crane you want to work with, which type of crane is accessible to you.
Okay. Thank you.
So for monitoring, it is better to go for a hydraulic telescopic crane. That will be much better, because if you go for a tower crane, the monitoring points will be very less.
Yeah. Again, the other thing, as you mentioned, that we need to integrate it with the existing system, right? We
Yeah.
won't be putting our own sensors.
Yeah.
So, like, is there any way you could provide us the details, or we need to research it out for that?
You have to research it out. You have to research it out. There are few mentors in our group who are associated with the OEM. You can take help of those OEMs and they can help you out.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Definitely. So this kind of hackathons are like very where you can learn many of the new concepts. So we want students to research and go through the process, go to the companies, ask them questions. There are many crane operations going like around us, so you can go and ask the operators as well. That will help you in your projects as well.
Yeah, even I will prefer that the teams should visit. They should try to tie up some of the project sites or some of the companies. First, they should visit the project site. They should find out how the equipment is working, and then it will be easier for them to understand the problem and find out the solution for that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I got the clarity. Yeah.
Yes, we also have Harshvardhan Gokhale, who is marketing head at Dynamics, joined. Uh, Harshvardhan, you can jump in whenever you are available.
Yes, we'll try to get all of the mentors to help you out wherever you need, guys. So, but again, one of our mentors, his name is Siddharth Sharma. He said a very beautiful thing, where he said कि actually आपको अगर चालू करना है ना, तो आपके आजू बाजू में construction कोई भी चालू है ना, तो go and talk to the operators first. You will understand more from there. So start by actually going to a few construction sites right next to your vicinity. That is one advice that I would like to give. That is how I start.
Definitely, that's a great advice.
And I am open for that, to give you a chance to visit the project sites, since I am into the construction industry. So any of the teams who are interested to visit the project, please let me know. I will arrange for that.
This is a big thing because Rishu Kapoor sir works in Shapoorji, Pallonji. They are extremely big developers all over India. So they will have sites almost everywhere in Maharashtra. So this is a big opportunity for all the students. So please do not miss out on this.
Sir, how could we reach out to you?
My email ID can be shared by the team, and you
Yes,
can just
yes.
drop a mail over there. So I will coordinate for that.
Okay, thank you.
We
Please
will
You can
share the
write
email.
down my number if you want. I can just share my number. You can write down my number.
yes,
It's seven
please.
seven
77
two double zero
200
600
600
75.
75 77 200 600 75.
Very right. I am based out of Pune, but like Harshvardhan has said that we have projects going on overall Maharashtra and other states also. So if I can understand that from which area you belong, I will try to find out the nearest site and arrange the visit for you.
Yeah, sir. We are also from Pune itself.
So great.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
We
We
also
will
have
coordinate. Yeah,
teams participating from Tamil Nadu and other parts of like South India mostly. So definitely we will get brilliant ideas across the Indian states. So any more questions or we have collected a couple of questions, the form that we circulated. So I'll read it out one by one. So there is quite a basic question: how actual crane works, and in what terms the systems are already enabled on the cranes. That's a quite basic question. If you
Okay.
could explain, sir, then will be
Yeah, see, there are different type of cranes. First, we have to understand that what type of cranes are there. Like if you have seen the residential buildings or the commercial buildings, there are fixed cranes which are called the tower cranes, which are basically grounded. Their foundations are there in the ground itself, and over that foundation angles, the mast system is there, and a jib is there, which has a limitation that it has to work in that particular radius zone as per the jib length of that particular equipment. Then there are the hydraulic telescopic cranes, which are like truck mounted cranes. Over a truck body or a truck chassis, hydraulic telescopic system is put up over there, and the crane moves with the help of the truck, and wherever it has to work, there are outriggers which have to be extended, and then there its boom and other things are being raised, and the job is being carried out. And then the third type of cranes are your crawler cranes, where you have the cranes are generally working like the excavators. They have your chain track systems are there. Similarly, the cranes are there which have a lattice structure of the booms, and the crane has to be assembled at a particular project, and then over that crawlers the crane is moving from one place to another place, but it has a limitation of the movement because like hydraulic telescopic crane, it's a truck mounted crane, it can move faster. The crawler cranes have a limitation that they have to work in that particular zone only, but unlike the tower cranes, they can move from one place to another place. Okay, so most of the cranes, they have a basic principle of the leverage system. There is a load chart which is being provided by the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer, and most of the cranes now these days are coming with the safe load indicator, automatic safe load indicator, where the data that at what radius the machine is working, what is the safe load at that particular radius, that is being already highlighted into their software or into the system. Okay, so apart from this, there are mobile cranes which we call pick and carry cranes, or the Farana or the Hydra units, which you have seen at a number of small projects also, which are truck mounted cranes also. But they generally don't work with the outriggers. They are tire mounted. They lift the load. They just work for the lighter loads up to 2 ton or 3 ton, and then they lift the load and move along with the load from one place to another place. So there are two different gears when these machines are moving. There is one the working gear and one is the marching gear. So generally when these tower cranes, these mobile cranes, Farana cranes, they are moving with the load. They move with the working gear, not with the marching gear. Okay, so you can means work out on the sensors if an operator is suppose trying to march in the marching gear after lifting the load, an alert has to be triggered. So this type of sensors or the collection of the data you can work out with your system over there.
Yes, I would also like to add one thing. For a few of the basic questions, the students can also refer to our website. We have a few blogs explaining the basics of cranes as well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ashwin. So again, we have questions. So we have question. How can we develop practical and energy efficient plasma barrier system for industrial crane collision prevention, ensuring controlled plasma generation, safe electromagnetic repulsion, real-time adaptability, and minimal power consumption while maintaining visibility and worker safety?
Yeah, I think the team dynamic will be the well equipped to answer this query basically, how the systems are working for the anti-collision and other things. For the optimization of the power or the optimization of the fuel, like I have already said that if we are monitoring the load parameters of the tower crane, then we can work out on the load optimization also. So for that, first you have to understand what type of drive systems are being used into the system, and accordingly we can work out on how the optimization of that particular system can be done.
Okay. Then second, the next question we have is how can real-time data analytics improve load management and operational efficiency?
Yeah, real-time data, like I am telling you that when we are monitoring that for how much time the equipment is on idle condition and for the how much time the equipment is the load condition. So once these data are being monitored, you can understand that the equipment is running more on an idle side or more on a loaded side. So definitely suppose if you have seen today in most of the car systems, what is happening that if the equipment or your cars are idle for say more than 30 second or 40 second, like they are waiting on the red light, automatically the ignition system of or the engine of the particular unit gets off, and then on operation of a clutch and accelerator you can immediately start the engine again and you can move on. Similarly, in this particular equipment, when we are monitoring the data that for how much time the equipment is running on the idle condition and how much time on the load condition, so if running of the equipment is more on the idle time, then we can definitely take a corrective action and we can guide the operators and others that the usage of the equipment on the idle is very high. So whenever the equipment has to be idle, it has to be switched off. Or same system with the engine can be integrated where a system is idle for more than 30 seconds or 1 minute, the engine can be switched off. So that can be incorporated.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So one of the question we have is that what are the cost implications of adapting new safety technologies in crane operations?
See, right, we used to say that basically the safety aspects or the other aspects are like an iceberg. So a very small item is being seen just at the top, like in an iceberg, but a very big structure is there below the water, which is not seen. Similarly, in the safety, when we work out on the cost, it might be possible that the implementation of this particular systems, the new systems may cost you in the initial stage, but if an accident is avoided, so that gives a much bigger return to you as compared to the cost which you are investing over onto the system. And right now, like the automation is going on and the digitization is going on, and in India our new chip production is going on, so the cost of all these systems is definitely coming down, and when you go for the mass production of the system, the cost definitely comes down. So people are ready to means accept the new technologies if they are safer, if they help you to improve the safety of the operation of the equipment. Because in many of the construction industries nowadays, the safety parameters are observed very keenly, and the organizations which are working on the international level, so there are some criterias on the safety aspects which are being monitored when they are given tenders to be put up for the international project. So safety is a very, very important aspect, and if the cost has to be incurred, the industry is ready to incur the cost for the safety.
Okay. So then we have a general question like what issues does industry lacking for crane operations and what are upcoming solutions? So kind of
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. So this is a very good question. See, what is
yeah.
happening is generally when we are working on the systems, like load indicator system is there, or this fuel monitoring system is there, or anti-collision system is there. See, most of the systems are coming in a language which is not very useful for the operators, or it is makes them difficult to understand the language, or they are unable to read out that what is being written on the screens. So even after monitoring the system, when the operator is unable to understand that what is written over there on the screen, it becomes of no use of putting up the system. So what I would suggest is that if you can work out on the multilingual systems where the data can be represented in different languages, which is understandable by the user or by the operator of the equipment, that will be of great help. So what I feel the major challenge is the systems are there, but our operators, they are not means user friendly. So they have to be more user friendly. As an engineer, we can understand what the system has been provided, how that system is helping us out. But if the end user is also given training and the ease of reading of that particular data, or a pictorial view of that particular system where it is easier for them to understand that what if some error is coming or some warning is coming, what is that warning related to, so that will make the things much easier and more safer.
Thank you, sir. We have a couple of questions for the problem statement web-based crane comparison platform. Would you like to answer to those questions?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So we have a question like what parameters should be considered for crane comparison? Like example, load capacity, lifting height, fuel type, mobility.
Yeah, see, for any type of comparison, first, like I have told you, there are different type of cranes. First, you have to categorize the category of the crane. Suppose it is a tower crane. Okay, now the tower crane, then you have to select the different manufacturers. Okay, what type of manufacturers are available in the market. Then further, you have to go, suppose it is a 5-ton capacity tower crane, which has a maximum capacity to lift a 5-ton load. Then you can make a comparison on different manufacturers, like Zoomlion is there, then Potain is there, then Manitowoc is there, then Liver is there. Said that in those particular different manufacturers, a 5-ton capacity crane, what is the jib length provided, the maximum jib length, up to which length the crane can work, at what particular radius, what is the capacity. Suppose at tip we talk about, generally a 5-ton crane has a jib length of 50 meters. So at tip, what is the capacity? The maximum capacity of 5-ton will be at what maximum radius? What is the size of its mast? What is the load on the ground of that particular tower crane? So what will be the foundation size of the tower crane? And then what will be the power consumption, the total connected load in the tower crane? What will be an estimated per hour units being consumed by the tower crane? So all these parameters you can use to make a comparison between different manufacturers and the same capacity of the crane. Similarly, you can select, suppose a hydraulic telescopic crane is there. Suppose we select a 50-ton hydraulic telescopic crane. So there are different manufacturers. Zoomlion is there, AXIMG is there, Liber is there. So you have to check out or collect the data of the different manufacturers in the same capacity of the crane. Then you have to work out what is the outrigger total length and width of the crane when it has to be positioned on the ground, how much area is required by that particular tower crane. What is the counterweight being used in the tower crane? What is the maximum boom length in the tower crane? And similarly, the load chart comparisons. You can work out that at what particular different radius you can put it out, that suppose you are selecting a radius of 20 meter and a boom length of 20 meter. So what is the load of different models of the cranes, different manufacturers, how much capacity is coming? Say in a one tower, in a one hydraulic telescopic crane at 20-meter radius and with a jib of boom length of around 30 meter, a load capacity can be coming around 2 ton. Another manufacturer can be giving it around 2.2 ton. One manufacturer can be giving it around 1.8 ton. So based on different manufacturers, the capacities will be different on the same radius and the same boom length. So first you have to understand that how the equipment are working. You have to visit some of the project sites. You have to interact with the operators. Then it will be easier for you to make the comparison of this particular equipment.
Okay, thank you, sir. And, yes, this also answers the questions. What is the primary purpose of this platform and the requirement of the platform or requirement of the solution?
Yeah, this is
Then,
generally when like right now we are working for a 250-ton crawler crane for one of our projects. So we are working out on different crane models, XCMG, Seni, Zumulion. So what we are working out, what we are discussing right now, that at what boom length, what will be the capacity of the crane, how many trailers are required to transport the crane, what will be the ground load of the tower crane, how much will be the counterweight, maximum counterweight available in the crane. So all these parameters has to be compared when we are working out on the comparison of the cranes, or we are making a platform where different comparisons have to be made.
yeah, okay, thank you. Harshvardhan, would you like to add, you being the problem statement giver, what are you expecting through this problem statement?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the problem statement?
This is about the web-based crane comparison problem statement.
The major purpose that actually we want to solve through this is people don't really know how to compare cranes. Cranes are a very technical equipment, and again, as Rishu Kapoor rightly said, that different manufacturers have various different parameters, and to check each parameter, people have to be very technically sound. So we want to make it user friendly for all the users to bring that on one screen. So okay, these are the three different manufacturers of this particular type of crane, and who is offering me the best equipment for my purpose. And that was the overall uh, reason why we brought this problem statement. I think Atharva wants to ask a question.
Yeah, Thiroja, please.
Yes, sir. I had doubt regarding the real-time monitoring system problem statement.
Yeah.
The thing is, like currently, I think there must be a system, right, to monitor the safety measures for crane. Like there
Yes.
must be some measures which are directly taken, like certain
Okay. So
load
dynamic
exceed.
crane engineers, we manufacture these equipment ourselves. So we are the manufacturers of load monitoring systems, anti-collision systems, and we go and install these on the cranes. So yes, there are systems already in place.
Yeah, so like what exactly are you expecting if already the like monitoring systems are there?
So these systems are already there, but they're only there for the operator. So they are a local system. So only the operator can see the entire screen or the alerts. But now we want to make it more advanced. We want to connect them to the cloud. We want to build a black box as well. So these are very rudimentary systems. कि अगर अभी problem है तो वो अभी problem दिखेगा. बट उसका
Okay.
अगर आपको डेटा सेव करना है कि इन द केस ऑफ एन एक्सीडेंट यू वांट टू गो एंड सी व्हाट वाज द रीजन ऑफ द एक्सीडेंट so you need to have a black box which can record all of these activities. Then you also need a remote monitoring system where if there is some problem, the immediate alert will notify the owner of the crane or the supervisor of the crane कि okay, one of your cranes is not functioning properly, please give it the right attention. Maximum amount of problems can be solved if the problem is highlighted at the right time. If the problem is not highlighted at the right time, then it becomes a bigger problem.
Okay.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, sir, Rishu sir.
Yeah, Ashwardhan, you are very right. What you have said is, see, any mishappening or any accident generally happens with a warning. See, nowadays, if you see that in most of this driving equipment in the cars, ADAS systems are coming, where there is a camera type of system which is being provided at the dashboard or near the steering. If a driver feels dizzy, so that can judge that the driver is feeling dizzy and it can start giving the alarm. Okay, so before if the alarm is coming, the driver gets a little bit alert and the accident can be avoided. And that is what the Harshvardhan is telling, that suppose any crane is working, when we are doing a real-time monitoring, a message has to be triggered, or it should be accessible to the supervisors or the maintenance team or the engineers of that particular project site, where they can monitor that alert has come, what was the reason for that alert, at what time that alert has come, and how many times in a day or in a week that alert is coming. So that can help us in understanding the behavior of the operator also, or whether there is really a problem in the machine itself. They can understand by monitoring that particular data, the history of the data, and a corrective action can be taken before any accident happens over there. So that is what a real-time monitoring is required and data analysis is required.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question, Mr. Rose.
Yeah. So one more question, like what are the biggest challenges when implementing automation in material handling and crane operations? So they want to know the biggest challenges while implementing the solutions, like automation
Uh,
solutions.
there are different manufacturers. They have different type of their wiring systems. They are using different type of sensors. So understanding that how that can be incorporated with your system is a different challenge. And like for the cranes, if you are working out, like I'm telling you that for a same capacity of the crane, different manufacturers will have their different load charts because their designs are different. Say in a tower crane having a 5-ton capacity, in Zoomlion, the counterweight can be 20-ton capacity. But same time at a 14 tower crane, the counterweights can be 18-ton capacity because the jib length or the counter jib length of that particular crane be different in different tower cranes. Okay, so you have to understand the basics of every machine as per the OEM guidelines, and then only you can work out the this your solution for that particular system. See, one solution cannot fit in all the equipment, a similar equipment. There has to be some modifications as per the model or the manufacturer of the machine. So that is a big challenge. You cannot say that we have made a system and now you can use it in any type of 5-ton tower crane or any type of Farana. It is not possible.
Okay.
If I want to give an example, for example, all of you guys know crane works on a pulley. So these manufacturers, everybody has a different size of a pulley. So if we want to make a component for the pulley itself, for every different manufacturer, we have to get the dimensions of the pulley separately for every model. So that becomes a huge challenge for us.
Very right.
Okay. So we also have Tohin Shah asking what role does predictive maintenance play in crane safety and reliability? I guess that's already been answered.
Yeah, see, predictive maintenance is what is predictive maintenance? First, we understand that what is predictive maintenance. There is a scheduled maintenance and there is a predictive maintenance. Predictive maintenance is basically when your equipment is giving some alert. So based on that, if we are carrying out any maintenance, that is called a predictive maintenance. And scheduled maintenance is there that OEM has recommended that that particular running of the machine at hour meter or kilometer, some maintenance or some repairs have to be done, some lubricants have to be changed, some filters have to be changed. So that is called a routine maintenance or a scheduled maintenance. Whereas a predictive maintenance means suppose an alarm is coming again and again. Suppose a filter is choked or your fuel filter is choked, an alarm is coming that the fuel pressure is low or your engine oil pressure is low. So that is giving you a symptoms that something is going wrong. You have to analyze it, and before it fails completely, you have to take a corrective action on that. So that is a predictive maintenance. So predictive maintenance will help you to avoid a major breakdown or a major replacement of a part.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions from participants? You can also ask questions related to the industry or any general questions. Okay, if not, then I have two questions, sir. So you
Yeah.
have 28 years of experience in construction industry. So what are the major changes you have seen in the equipment handling and the maintenance over the years, or this in the crane industry?
Yeah, Saurabh, like you have said that if I compare the working style in last 20 years back or 25 years back, in fact, few days back only we were having a discussion with few of our team members that earlier when we used to have the erections, that was a special teams have to be there because generally the erections used to take with the help of number of pulleys, chain pulleys, winch systems, and right now there are cranes available which are more comfortable to use, which are more convenient, which are more safer because lot of data is being represented in the crane itself. But the
Mhm.
only thing is the machines are available, but the skilled manpower is not there who can understand the working of those safe systems. So that what I am telling again and again is that we have to develop a system which has to be user friendly, which has to be operator friendly, so that operators can also understand the system. So with the invent of the new techniques, new technologies, new machines, it is more safer to work on the project side as compared to earlier. The incident rates have definitely come down. The ease of working has increased. The duration, the projects which used to take earlier 4 years, 5 years, now the same projects are being completed within 2 years, half or even one third time of the earlier time taken. So the speed of the project has also increased.
Okay. Uh, so one more question. This will be my last question. As we have students who are working on this project, and as they are working, so they are also like want to know what are the skills which are most important for today's engineers to like enter in this construction or heavy equipment industry. So we'd like to have someone students coming in this industry.
Okay. See, what I will suggest is first of all, before developing any system, please visit the equipment, get your hands dirty. Unless and until you get your hands dirty, you cannot develop a good system. If you want to develop a good system, you have to understand in and out of the equipment. Then only you will be able to understand that what you have to develop, which can be more appropriate for the equipment. If you think that you have already studied in the books or you have seen the videos and you can develop the system, so I think the system cannot be of that great usage at the ground level until and unless you have personally involved with the operators, you have personally understood or you have personally seen how the equipment is working. So getting at the project site is more important before developing any system.
Right. That definitely satisfy my question. Yes, Atharva. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is question for the dynamic persons, like those who are
Yeah, we
organizing
have
this hackathon.
Darshan.
So
Yes.
like I will be very honest, like I had the last hackathon which I was developing a similar type of thing. Like I was developing a real-time monitoring and predictive maintenance system for a metro tunnels. So in which like I had implemented a SCADA system, uh, which usually do monitoring on their sensors itself, which is installed in a Delhi metro systems. But
Mm-hmm.
like unfortunately there were two teams, and the team which were doing it on a Node MCU, a microcontroller which is not a very industry grade, was selected.
Mm-hmm.
Like their expectation was something different than that of industry grade. So like I would like
Okay.
to ask the dynamic persons only, like what are your expectations? Are we just required to give a prototype which is good to go, or is it necessary if or is it good if it's industry grade thing?
So dynamic team would actually prefer if you have learned what is available in the industry and suggest something better than what is available.
Okay.
So,
We are
yeah.
more looking at solutions, even if you don't implement, but the idea should be such that that can be implemented if you get selected for the finale or say you win. So we want that idea to be implemented. So you have to come with kind of a innovative solution.
I think Dr. Venkatesh Lakshmi also highlighted this point that
Yeah.
many a times students try to go and reinvent the wheel from scratch. So we don't want you to do that. We want you to learn what is available in the industry right now and either use that or use something better than that. So, for example, currently everybody is using GSM based, SIM card based IoT gateways to send data of the equipment. But now there is a newer technology called LoRaWAN, LoRaWAN. So you can also look into something like that and suggest, ki, okay, we can use this instead of the existing method.
Okay, thank you.
Even if you don't build a model that is rigorous or immediately implemented, but your idea should be such that it like you should be
Yes.
able to explain that and you should be able to understand it first. That will be more of the point.
Important. Yes, rightly said, Saurabh. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I guess we have come to the end, and we I don't think we have any more questions. Okay. Thank you. So I'd like to thank you, Rishu Raj Kapoor sir, for his time for this session and giving his experience and expertise and the insights to the students. And I hope this definitely will help them in their hackathon journey. And yeah. Also, thank you to Harshavardhan for coming in and answering the questions and giving your time. Also, thank you to the all the participants. Okay, yeah, Omkar, yeah, please.
Sir, we have selected the first problem statement. So, what more experiments we can implement in it?
Sorry, I couldn't get you. Can you repeat?
Sir, we have selected the first problem statement. So, what more things we can implement in it?
What technology you can implement in it?
Yes.
That is something that you will have to explore. What we can actually give you is a use case where we are trying to solve the collision problems. So maybe you can reach out to us personally, then we can give you a particular use case. Then you can research on what technology is available and then propose a solution. If we only tell you what technology to use, then the point of the hackathon gets.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Please reach out to us on our website or on our email. We'll help you with the use case.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Harshavardhan. Yeah, Tohin, your question is like, can we handle this problem statement
Again, I will
only?
say the one thing to all the students that first try to visit the project sites. Then it will be easier for them to understand that what the problems are there or what they are thinking, how those problems are there at the projects. Then it will be easier for them to work out and take further help on that.
Yeah, definitely. That will definitely help.
And yes, the problem statement number 8 is supposed to be solved using software. It's almost like car dekho.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you, Ashwardhan.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rishu.